Hey, I'm Eva, and this video is why it's okay to let go of social media. And I hand this straight over to God. Nice little breath here. Yeah, take a deep breath in. Breathe out. Okay. I'd like for you to get centered before we start this video. And the reason why I'm making a video on this with Eva today is because there's a question in the collective right now. Is it okay if I let go of social media? Is that okay? And it's almost like there is a permission that is required to let go of social media. And this video isn't about giving you permission to do that. It's not giving you permission to let go of social media. But what I'm going to do is help you understand why you're asking for permission. And also why it's okay to let go of social media if you feel like that's the right thing for you. So, first of all, I want to start off with the fact that there's nothing wrong with social media. If you are able to not be seduced and controlled by the energy. If you are very much aware of yourself, aware of honoring yourself, very connected to who you are, it's very important for you to be able to know you can use social media. And that's going to be very helpful if it is aligned for you. But if it's not aligned for you, or if you're not in that place where you're able to have influence over things, which means you're in the world, but you're not of the world, and we will very much go into that topic. Very, very much we need to go into that topic. So if you're in the world and you're of the world, which means you get influenced by people, you're very sensitive, you get influenced by things, you're going to be influenced by social media. And so I want to go in that direction, that if you're someone who doesn't have the capacity to influence things, and what I mean by that is that you're able to really allow yourself to bring light to something, you can bring it to the highest expression. Yeah, but if you're not there, then you have to be able to say, you know what, I'm not there yet. And when I go on social media, it does influence me. And maybe I go on social media for the wrong reasons, okay? So people go on social media for a few reasons. One of the main reasons right now people go onto social media is that they feel alone. They feel alone. And it's so important to understand the motivation why people go on social media. People feel really alone. They feel like they need connection. They feel like they need support. And so they go to social media for support. But the problem with that is that if you're looking for something outside of yourself to bring you what you need, you're always going to give your power away to social media. And social media is always going to want to take that power away, because the whole premise of social media is an agenda. Yeah, it's an agenda to make money. It's an agenda for people to feel controlled a little bit. Yeah? If we can control people, we can get them to buy. We can get them to do what we want. We can get them to do this, that. Yeah, it's very matrixy, social media. And again, it's not inherently bad if you're able to influence it and bring it to the highest expression. But most people are not in that position yet. Doesn't mean you won't be there. But what I also want to say is, if you are there, it may not be aligned for you. And if it's not aligned for you, then you have to let it go. You have to let it go. So number one, if your motivation is to go on social media because you feel lonely, then I want you to understand that you have that experience within you going on. I feel very alone. I feel very lonely, and I'm going into social media to feel less alone. Maybe you're doing a spiritual journey and you need to check in with one of your spiritual advisors on social media so they can help you understand something. Yeah, and maybe they become a little bit your source and supply of your spiritual path rather than you're within yourself. Yeah, I'm not going to make it bad or wrong, but eventually it's inevitable that you'll have to stop doing that and you'll have to go within and not go outside of yourself for the answers. Okay? So if you are feeling alone and you're going to social media to feel connected or feel supported or feel whatever it is you need to feel, I'm going to say to you, it's okay if you let go of social media for a little while. To notice that you need to stay within yourself rather than go on social media to fulfill that urge. Because if you go within yourself, you're going to realize that there's something within here that requires some awareness, some healing. Yeah, very much it's about healing that part of you that needs to go and find support and love in the wrong places. If you're going to social media to find love and support, you most likely have a pattern where you look for love in the wrong places. It's inevitable. Yeah, it's not the right place to find love and connection. And the reason it's not is because it's not real. It's not a real world, it's a virtual world. And if you notice, you can know someone in reality in the physical way, and the social media is different from how you experience them. You'll come up time and time again that the way I experience someone on social media is not really how I experience them in person. Because there is an overarching agenda in social media that you can't really be yourself. It's very much about, I've got to prove something. I've got to show that my life's good. I've got to make money. A lot of people are using social media for business and they're not able to do it in a way that's very innocent and pure. They're very much about, I got a gender, I got to sell, I got to do this. So you're never really going to get the real deal person version on Instagram. Even if there is such a real deal version of themselves, very often you're still going to find that who they are on Instagram really doesn't match up to who they are in the physical realm. And that's because it's going to be very much an energy now that vibrates within the collective that you have to go and have real connection now. That social media is not enough for you. Yeah, it's very much not going to feel like enough because you want real connections, rather than virtual connections. And so understanding this motivation of I really want connection is very helpful. I really feel alone, and if you go to the wrong places for it, or you go there because you don't feel you can have it in the real physical world, then you just have to become aware that there's something to heal there. Because what is available to you is to start having real relationships again. To go beyond the pandemic of we had to stay home and be on technology to connect. You have to now know that the highest expression of what happened there was that you got to stay home and work on yourself. And you got to heal, and you got to recognize that maybe it wasn't always about going out into the world and being with the wrong people. But if you didn't heal that, maybe you were always going to places you didn't really want to go, or hanging out with people you didn't really want to hang out with, or going to a job you didn't really want to do. And when you dishonor yourself in that way and you stay home, and if you didn't really heal it, you're going to do that online instead. Yeah, it's just going to be the same pattern in a different way. So the second motivation that people have on social media is their business. It's become very big that people do social media for their business. And so there really is such a big question here of, is there another way? Is there another way that I can do business without doing social media? Because maybe I don't want to post. Maybe I don't want to do all these things that aren't really the true me. Yeah, maybe it just feels wrong for me to do that. That I have to post on social media to sell. because it always feels a little bit icky. And if you're really honest with yourself, it's going to feel like the real true part of you doesn't really want to do your business on social media in a way that is out of integrity with you. You know, perhaps it is aligned for you to do your business on social media in a very pure way, and you have an ability to bring it to a higher expression. But inevitably, you'll let go of doing that, because you'll realize that you're going to want to do business in the real physical world. Yeah, you're going to want to actually go places and travel and be with people and have real relationships, and to not rely on an artificial agenda of connection. Yeah. So what I want you to tune into is that everyone has their best way of doing their business. If you're a business owner, you really have your highest way, and you have an aligned way with right where you're at that will eventually take you to your highest way. And so if right where you're at, you're having all these bells saying, oh, I don't really want to do this, I'm just doing it because I feel I have to, then I'm going to encourage you to tune into whether you really should be doing it. Yeah, because if it's feeling out of alignment, then you're going to find eventually you'll let it go. And if you're eventually going to let it go, you could just let it go now. So your highest path is going to be something that you love. You're going to love the way you do your business. And when you're in the matrix, you always feel like you have to market and you have to sell yourself and you have to do things that compromise who you are. But when you're out of the matrix, you don't sell, you don't market, you just don't. It's all energetic. It's very much about, I do my inner work and I become who I really am meant to be. I remember the real version of me, and I allow that to be guiding who I am. I allow myself to commit to who I truly am, and to commit to God, you know, to experience myself as God, to experience my relationship with God, to experience everyone and everything as God in a very pure way. And from that place, you're going to allow the right clients to come to you, the right customers. And it's very much an enjoyable journey. It's very much about, I just allow everything to come to me. Yeah, God does everything for me, right? I do everything for you. That's how it's going to be the more you're purified into remembering that you are really a spiritual being that is allowing everything to be orchestrated for you to be aligned. And so there's not any agenda in there. You're not going to be thinking, oh, I got to sell this product today and I got to sell this service at this price today. You're going to have a lot less of those types of structures because they're very limited and very agenda oriented. So again, it's okay if you feel deep within you, I feel I have to let go of social media as the way I do my business. Okay, I'm going to touch on the third reason people do social media. It's boredom. They're just bored. And again, I just want you to start to notice, are you really bored? Because social media will not make it better for you. If you're really bored, you're going to find that every time you look outside of yourself to fix that, it's going to make you feel worse. And so if you feel bored and you're on social media, just become aware of it and see, is there a way I can take a break and start to recognize, what is it that feels bored within me? Because it means that I've lost my connection to who I truly am. And I'm living a life that is really not my own. It's not the right life for me. It's not fulfilling me. It's not satisfying me. And so if you put down the social media, you're going to start to go within and start to ask deeper questions of what is it that's really meaningful for me? Because when you're bored, it means you lost meaning in your life. You lost your light. You lost your fun. You lost the connection with yourself, your true self. And you really at some point started to decay and feel bored and to feel lonely and to feel unsupported, and so you went to social media to say, maybe you can help me. But it's really just because social media has a little bit of an agenda to it, that if you're not strengthened, you're going to go through it to fix some problem, and you're then going to feel like you're controlled by social media. And you never want to be controlled by anything. You want to be really strong in your sense of self and your own little personal universe, that you don't ever have to go to a technology to make you feel better about yourself. And that's why it's okay if you want to let go of social media, so that you can really go deeper with yourself, and to really recognize that if you've already let go of social media because you followed this advice, or maybe you just did it and you have a little bit of an addiction as you're going out of it, you know, maybe I let it go and I want to go back on. All that's needed then is to really understand that it was giving you a clue to what you really wanted. Yeah, if you were going on social media because you want your business to be successful, it means that actually that's really important to you, that you have a successful business. Yeah, it means that you had a vulnerability there because social media was able to go into your dark space there of, it's really important for me to have a successful business, but I felt I had to compromise myself in some way to make it successful. And so you have to just keep on tuning into what needs to be healed there, and to recognize that you had a very pure desire there, that you wanted to have a successful business, and that there's most probably a lot more that is gonna feel really good to you around business if you do it in the right way. Yeah, that there's a genuine desire that you're feeling. It's just you're doing it in a very disorientating, disconnected way, and yeah, you don't want to do that. So that's it in a nutshell. It's okay if you want to let go of social media, and feel free to comment on this. Okay, lots of love to you.